Thankfully, this was not the worst case scenario. The storm did weaken before landfall, and the storm surge, as initially reported, has not been as significant overall as what was observed for Hurricane Helene.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis there with the latest update following that landfall of Hurricane Milton. It hit around 8:30 last night and tore across the state, leaving millions in the dark and at least 4 people confirmed dead. Thanks so much for joining us here at noon on your Thursday. I'm Brooke Hash. Milton hit Florida's Gulf Coast as a Category 3 storm, bringing powerful winds, several feet of surge and flooding to parts of the state. Water rescues still taking place at this hour. ABC's Jacqueline Lee takes us there.
People across the state of Florida surveying the damage after a ferocious Hurricane Milton made landfall along the west coast.
The house vibrated when the gusts really picked up.
The storm coming ashore in Siesta Key near Sarasota late Thursday as a Category 3 hurricane, packing powerful winds up to 120 miles per hour and several feet of storm surge, uprooting trees and downing power lines. 3 million customers now without power. In St. Petersburg, a large construction crane collapsing onto a street, damaging another building. Luckily, it had been evacuated, and there are no reports of injuries. Powerful winds causing the roof of Tropicana Field, home of the Tampa Bay Rays, to partially rip off.
This is bad. I've never seen, for all 37 years being in Tampa, I've never seen like this something.
Rescue crews out all morning in boats helping people escape their flooded homes and neighborhoods. At least 38 tornadoes reported before the storm made landfall.
You can see just the devastation around me. All of this, once the contents of a home, everything that was inside is now just in this field. We can see the dishwasher, we can see a microwave, chairs, clothes.
And at this home in Wellington, the front door now blocked by a car, lifted and dropped there by the wind. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says the situation could have been worse.
The storm surge, as initially reported, has not been as significant overall as what was observed for Hurricane Helene.
Florida officials also say 135 officers have also been deployed, along with thousands of National Guard members. Power crews are working around the clock to get everyone back online. Rena Roy, ABC News, Tampa, Florida.
Well, more than 3.3 million people across Florida are without power. A significant amount of those are based in the Tampa region where Milton first made landfall. We'll continue to monitor for any changes over the next few days. Back here in Louisville, a local church is offering help to hurricane victims. St. Matthew's United Methodist Church sent relief to those hit hard in the Carolinas and are now collecting donations to assist those facing the aftermath of yesterday's storm. An hour before landfall yesterday, it held a special prayer service for everyone involved.
People are asking the question, where is God in all of this? And I think tonight's an important reminder that God is with us, even during the most troubling times, that in the midst of disaster, we can turn to God and know that God is there.
To help donate relief aid to those in Florida, we have a link in this story on our homepage. Just head to WHAS11.com. Sam, I stayed up pretty much all night last night watching. I know it hit around 8:30. So much going on, and the amount of tornadoes with that system.
Yeah, the tornadoes kind of kicked in late morning yesterday and throughout the early afternoon, right before Milton did make landfall. And just keep in mind, most of the tornadoes actually happened for areas that didn't quite see the impactful, very strong storm surge and the extreme wind and rain. Most of the tornado reports were in southeast Florida, but of course southwest Florida are the areas that did see the landfall and big impacts from the hurricane itself. Tropical storm warnings and hurricane warning still in effect for much of the extreme northeastern coast of Florida, the Atlantic side. But the good news is with this hurricane, it is about to be long gone as we get into the mid-afternoon today. A quick look at the rainfall tallies, and they were very significant. We saw a report in the St. Pete area of 18 inches of rain. The International Airport in Tampa did record just under a foot of rain. So flooding rains, of course, a lot of damage and cleanup going to be underway from Milton's remnants. But as far as we're concerned locally, again, another day with high pressure locally in Kentuckiana, and we're going to make our way into the upper 70s. It's going to be a gorgeous afternoon. Du Bois sitting right now at 71. Evansville cruising into the middle 70s. And again, here in Louisville, looking to be clipping the lower 70s into the afternoon. Right now, as it stands, we're actually nearing 2 weeks without rain in Louisville. Thankfully, from Helene's remnants. It dumped a lot of rain. Other than that, we really haven't seen much in the way of rain over the past month and beyond. Sunshine-filled, mild days are ahead of us. The drought monitor updated today. I just wanted to give you a quick update. Abnormally dry conditions, so we're looking pretty good, mainly for southern Indiana. In a few more minutes, I'll talk more about a gorgeous remainder of our 7-day forecast, including the weekend, Brooke.
All right, thanks so much, Sam. Well, we are talking about the latest shooting here in Louisville. Police investigating a double shooting in the Algonquin neighborhood. LMPD said just after 1 this morning, officers were called to the 1600 block of Brashear Drive and found 2 male victims shot. One had died at the scene, the other taken to the hospital with what they called non-life-threatening injuries. Police have not made any arrests. Arson investigators are searching for the cause of a massive fire that burned a nearly 200-year-old vacant church downtown. This was the scene around last night about 8 o'clock at St. Paul's German Evangelical Church off East Broadway. That's near South Brook Street. Original reports came in saying there were people possibly hanging out of the windows. Firefighters arrived on scene in about 2 minutes and said one person fled the scene before they could get medical attention. And it took over 60 firefighters to contain the blaze. None of them were injured. There's a new partnership between Metro government and the Kentucky Attorney General's office in an effort to reduce violent crime. Just a few hours ago, Kentucky's AG Russell Coleman announced the Violent Crime Reduction Team. Historically, he said his office has not had an active role in law enforcement in Louisville, but said that ends now. Coleman mentioned the crime in Jefferson County has ripple effects across the state and must be stopped at the source. Prosecutors with the AG's office will now be stationed permanently in Louisville to handle more cases locally. They'll focus on non-fatal shootings and convicted felons in possession of firearms. It's welcomed news for mothers like Krista Gwen, who lost her son to gun violence and whose daughter is physically impaired by it.
Support, show up, show out, and speak up. When you see something, say something, because your child could be the next child laying in the casket.
The Commonwealth's attorney, Jarena Weathers, is also a part of this new violent crime reduction team, saying this partnership will now allow her office to go after more criminals faster. Meanwhile, Fern Creek High School is adding a new safety precaution for home football games. In a letter sent home to parents, Fern Creek said all guests will now have to go through a metal detector before those games. Fans also cannot wear any masks or bring book bags or any kind of bags. Anyone under 18 must have a student ID for the school playing or be accompanied by a legal guardian. These new guidelines will be in place this Friday for Fern Creek's home game. The change is a result, as you know, of a deadly shooting during a football game at a different school last month. 2 teens were shot. One of them died from his injuries in the hospital on Tuesday. LMPD said the suspects were wearing masks, but no arrests have been made.